Yo! Welcome to another episode of Gaming with Mr. C. And today, guys, we're going to be breaking down Mafia the Definitive Edition. You see?
Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C.
Guys, Mafia the Definitive Edition came out about 18 years ago. And here we are again, playing it with updated controls, graphics, and all sorts of new mess. So what is it? What is it like? And is it worth getting? Alright guys, let's go ahead and start with the story. You play as Tommy. Yes, Tommy, the guy that gun is named after. Get out of here, you filthy animals. The Tommy gun. You play as a regular everyday cab driver until one late night you get a fare from two mobsters who are fleeing the scene of a crime, and this rivaling family is after to kill them. You get them to safety, and over the next couple days you go back to your normal life until that rivaling family recognizes you and seeks out to kill you, sending you fleeing to the Don for not only protection, but for revenge. And we all know that revenge is a dish best served cold. And that one mission gets you into the Don's favor. And over the next 10 years, you work for this Don, getting deeper and deeper into the family. And these stories are not going to be too over the top or crazy, but they do fall in theme and in line with your normal, typical mobster entertainment movies or games. However, the stories are told in each mission that make the missions kind of worth playing, if you will, and kind of enhance those missions that you will be doing later on. The story is good here, just not great. So let's go ahead and get into the graphics. The graphics in this game shook me. The only thing that would have shook me more is if I woke up tomorrow morning with a chopped off horse head in my bed. I'm not even talking about the updated character models and the environments that are in this luxurious 4K. Those are there. Those are great. I'm talking about the level of details that they put into this game. I'm talking about to full-fledged menus in a diner, to these promotional boxing posters hanging up in the alleys, to the bright signs, to even the rain. There's all these different types of rain and depth of the rain and heavy rains, short rains, to lightning, and even the character models in the cutscenes. There's no wandering eyes. These are realistic looking cutscenes. I even sent pictures of the game from my phone instead of a screenshot, and my friend still thought it was a TV show. The graphics just are that good in this game. I had two small, tiny gripes with the graphics. Number one, when things were moving at high rates of speed, whether it was a train, trolley, or a car, motorcycle, there would be a slight ghosting. The second one is occasionally during cutscenes, the graphics wouldn't load. There was audio, just the graphics wouldn't load. Now, if this just happened once or twice, probably not even worth mentioning, but it did happen about half a dozen times, so I feel like it was still worth mentioning. Other than that, this game is rubbing snub-nosed shotties with Resident Evil and Tomb Raider. It is that good looking. So I do kind of want to get into the audio, guys, and audio is something that I think is taken for granted a lot in video games. I do think it's going to play a predominant role in the next generation of gaming, but this game does a phenomenal job with audio. And you're probably like, huh? What are we talking about here? I'm talking about from things when you're listening to the radio and you go through a tunnel, how it cuts in and out and the volume goes down, to actual paying attention to having presidential speeches from that era playing on the radio, to when a cutscene ends and you would normally just be playing, you could still hear the other characters having a conversation about what the cutscene was about as you're walking out the room and it getting fainter. It's just these little levels of detail, again, that really just add that extra immersion into the game. And look, I mean, come on, man. The cutscenes, man, the voice acting, I could literally hear every cigarette puffed, lung-filled word that was spoken. Like, these guys felt and sounded like they've been smoking their entire lives. Like, the details, man, the details. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into those controls. The controls, they felt a little tightened up since the previous iteration of Mafia. I did appreciate the quick swap of the weapons up here. The only real control issue I think I had with the game, because everything was tight, I didn't have any aiming issues, there weren't tank controls or anything like that. And I don't even know that this was necessarily their fault. Maybe it was just from all my years of GTA, but I kept wanting to hit X for the E-brake, and the E-brake was B. So I would be going at a high rate of speeds, and I would hit that button right there, my guy, and I would go rolling out the car. But speaking of the cars, that was one of the things I did also like about the controls, because these felt like cars that were of that era without the power steering, and cars that didn't go 3,000 miles per hour. I mean, they were topping off at 40 and 60 a lot of times. So I give them high marks and trying to keep to details again. Just making it feel like I was in this industrial Great Depression era riding around in these slickster cars.
And one of the other things was these navigational pop-up white signs that you see on the right side. I thought it was a cool touch, and I hope other games use it.
Alright guys, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. One of the things I keep forgetting about Mafia until I've gone back and played Mafia 1 and 2 this year is that Mafia was never really an open world game. Now, they would set up the mission for you and then let you go into the open world, but there weren't going to be side quests or a bunch of NPCs for you to interact with. It was pretty much go take care of this mission. Now, this particular Mafia does offer a free ride mode where you can go and be a mobster, man, and just go downtown and strut your stuff, do mobster things, get out the old cigar if you need to. But that's not the main purpose of the game. The main purpose is to go through these 20 missions that are set up over about 10 to 15 years, each with a unique story. Now, this game is going to take you anywhere about 10 to 15 hours to complete, and you're going to have your typical open world type game missions. Tail this character, rob a bank, clear out a room. Nothing too groundbreaking or excessive in these missions, but it's the story that's told with each mission, which is really what kind of drives the heart of this game for you to keep playing these missions. And the thing that I really appreciated about it, and probably because there weren't side quests, is that you're not going to be tailing a guy 5 out of the 20 missions. Each mission is a little bit different from the other, so it never gets old. And I feel like if the game was longer, that probably would have happened. So they did a good job of kind of setting that pace for you. And keep in mind, this game's only $40 at max retail. Some people bought it bundled with 2. That's a pretty good deal for a 15-hour game. So guys, the other thing I wanted to talk about with this game was the xCloud streaming, because I did get some streaming done on my mobile device of this Mafia game, and I would actually give it a 9 out of 10 because I never had any input lag or any real issues with the screen. The only time I had an issue was being able to scope out people. Just because the screen was so much smaller than I was used to, it was a little hard on my eyes, but fidelity of the game, no issues. Alright guys, so for my final thoughts, I don't want to end up 6 feet under, so I give this game a 10 out of 10. No problem. Nah, I kid. This game was a lot of fun, graphically, story-wise, mechanically. It was a phenomenal game. Mafia 2 was always my favorite Mafia, mainly because of the story. I enjoyed the story in Mafia 3, but I just felt that the gameplay and the graphics were kind of broken, especially at launch. But this game kind of takes what's best of the 3 of them and puts them into one game. And at $40 price tag, you would be an idiot not to play it. So I would actually give this game an 8.75 out of 10.
Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C. C. Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C. C. Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C. C. Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C.